So this is how we update an existing artifact. We're going to pass two things from client to the backend. One is a path variable, artifact ID. The second one is the updated information about an existing artifact. For example, here is deluminator. And if we want to change, for example, we're going to change this from a device to a magic artifact, something like that. Then this is the updated or modified version, and we're going to send it to the backend. All right, so let's go back to IntelliJ. Okay, after save, let's define a put mapping, because this is a put request. Well, the URL is the same as find by ID. So let me copy and paste. So this is the endpoint or URL for update. Public result update. And there's a path variable. So it is important to use @path variable to retrieve this path variable and put it in artifact ID. So it's very similar to find by ID. Okay, also remember, so this one is really a combination of this one and this one, because we also need to data bind JSON to this object. Make it larger. And this time, we're going to change it to updated artifact. Okay, it's always important to give a good name to your form parameter. Then we're going to use artifact service dot update. So we're trying to call a method that doesn't exist yet. And pass this, actually we're going to pass two things, artifact ID and updated artifact. Then I'm going to copy and paste. Here is update success. All right, then let's define this update in artifact service. Okay, in service, before we save updated artifact back to database, let's first set ID, because this guy here only has name, description, and image URL. Its ID is null, right? So what we're going to do here is updated artifact dot set ID artifact ID. Then we use artifact do dot update. Well, unfortunately, there's no update, because for Hibernate, update and save, they are very similar. So here we're going to use save. Spring Data JPA, or in this case, Hibernate, because Hibernate is an implementation of Spring Data JPA. Hibernate is smart enough to know that if this is a brand new one or it is an existing one. So if this is an existing one, the SQL that Hibernate will send is update. If this is a new artifact, in other words, if the ID does not exist in the current database, then Hibernate is going to use SQL insert. So Hibernate is really smart enough to tell if this artifact is new or existing. So in both cases, we're using save. Okay, and that's all. That's all we have to do about update. So let's test. Okay, so first, let me shut it down and restart. Okay, so it's working. Let's go to H2 first, and let's modify one. So every time you restart your application, you have to refresh this, because H2 database also gets recreated. Okay, so connect, artifact, run. As you can see, this time we're gonna have 6 rows, because H2 is in-memory database. If I turn off my application, then everything you inserted or you saved will get lost. Okay, but there's a way you can persist H2 database. But remember, H2 is only for development purpose. Those are all fake data, so it doesn't matter I lose them. Okay, all right. Next, let's try to modify one. All right, let's modify the first one, okay? Deluminator is a device. Let's change it to an artifact. Okay, so let's go to Chrome and find our Swagger. Let's copy this. Then go to Postman. Let's create a new request. Let's call this update and artifact. Okay, it also belongs here. Okay, good. Save. Now this time is put, right? Because put represents update. All right. So localhost 8080 artifacts, and remember we have to go to body, raw, and JSON. Is a device. Let's change it to is an artifact. Okay, and artifact. Okay. Also, we're going to make sure that this ID is the ID of Deluminator. Okay, so let's go to Chrome and find H2 and copy this ID. Postman. Okay, it's the same one. Good. So put endpoint, and this is the data. Everything's good. Let's send. All right, we got true 200 update success. Then let's go back to H2 to verify. Now pay attention to this one. It is now a device, right? If I run again, it is an artifact. So Hibernate is really smart enough to know when to update and when to insert.